What kind of advice would you give to editors when they are coaching their writers?
Well, and see, that's the problem, right? Because we're right now in this very tough blood feud of the plural they and singular they versus he and she, or he or she. So it really depends who you're talking to, what they think. I think the best thing you can do is just try as many ways to structure the sentence as possible to make sure that you can make it so that you're using inclusive language, but maybe not stepping on the toes of those like me who are still kind of on the fence about the singular they.
I would say definitely read a lot of, kind of diverse media. And also, like GLAAD has a really great media guide about different terms that are, outdated, like things that you should use instead. So if you're not familiar with that sort of thing already, that's a great resource. Otherwise, you're just, be respectful. And, if you have a question, ask. Because no one's ever going to be like, how dare you want to learn something new? They'll just tell you like, hey, yeah, so we don't do this anymore because it's offensive. So people are usually generally very nice to like kind of educate you before you make the mistake, if that makes sense.
The advice I would give is, are you treating all groups equally? If you're treating one person, let's say a disability, and you treat it as a novelty, why would you do that when somebody may take that seriously? It's not a novel concept or an original concept. It's part of a person's lifestyle or life identity or situation. So I think trying to understand how are you treating everyone the same, and how would different people react to that kind of treatment? Would everyone understand what you're doing? Would people agree with it? Because you might have the best intentions and you could widely miss the mark.
So step out of your own assumptions. And that's what I think is a good advice for editing anything. When we're familiar with something, we tend to fill in the blanks ourselves, just like a writer does. And so as an editor, we need to sort of step back and maybe sort of almost pretend that we don't know anything, pretend we're ignorant. I mean, we need to embrace our ignorance and, we need to embrace our ignorance and not fill in the blanks for someone. So when we see an issue, we should be aware of an issue, we should be looking out for issues, and we should be looking at it as sort of the everyman or the every person. Or no person, kind of going off the rails here a little bit. But we should be looking at it as the average person who maybe isn't anything like us. We should be thinking of ourselves as a woman, as a black man, as a Hispanic person. We need to embrace sort of that, the totality of the readership, and come at it from that perspective as well as our own perspective.